one of the great songs from Annie, one of the joyous musicals to grace our shores for a second time. Well, third time, I think, maybe.
It's been around a few times. I've seen it before, so it must have been here recently.
And it's going to be a joyous occasion for Bert Newton, who takes to the wheelchair of Franklin Delano Roosevelt this coming week. Bert, good evening.
Good evening to you, Bruce. Hello, Simon.
Hello, Mr. Newton.
Are we well?
Yeah, what a wonderful role this is going to be, Bert.
Oh, it's something I'm really looking forward to, Bruce. It's a lovely show, and this is the third production in Australia. And Anthony Warlow has done it once before. Then early in the piece, the first production, it was Hayes Gordon and Jules Perryman. But this is a terrific production. This one, I've seen it 3 times now, including this afternoon for Alan Jones' last performance, and Patty and I have always loved the show, so it's terrific to be part of it.
Could I ask something just off-centre? The Barry Humphries show, how was that received?
Well, being Barry, that was off-centre. It was a great show. I think the only criticism I'd have, I don't think Barry was given the best audience that night.
Oh.
But he got, well, I mean, everyone loved him, but a very important part of his show is to have some audience members up. And unfortunately, it was one of those nights when 2 of the audience members, he didn't want to get up on stage. Now, perhaps I painted the wrong picture. The night overall was outstanding. I just have to look at Barry as himself or in any of his characters, and all I see is genius.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great show, and I think the bookings are showing just how popular and how beloved he is. And this, I'm sure, unlike Dame Nellie Melba and maybe our mate John Farnham, I think so far as the big show is concerned, I think this will be his swan song, and maybe do some smaller shows. But it's so worthwhile seeing. If I can just extend my answer of 5 minutes to 6 minutes, I think we're very lucky in Melbourne at the moment because we have some terrific shows, including Barry's and of course Annie.
Look, can I ask, Bert, with you taking the place of Alan Jones, Alan, when he took on this role and started here in the Melbourne season, was not met with critical acclaim. Did he get better? Have you seen him in it a couple of times now? Did he get better as the season progressed?
Well, I didn't see him at any stage when he needed to get better. I thought it was great in the show. I mean, he played it very differently to how I'd like to play it, but that's the name of the game. And I think that it was a stroke of genius on the producer's part to have Alan in the show, because everywhere but Sydney primarily, he's such a big name. I mean, we all know that he's got the biggest audience Australian radio has ever had, and it's history. And I know him personally, and apart from anything else, I'd be biased in seeing him perform. But I thought he was terrific, and the audience felt the same way too on the 3 occasions I've seen the show. But as I say, different horses for different courses, and I'm sure I'll play it differently.
I'm sure you'll enjoy it too, because it's quite it's not a demanding role, is it?
Any more questions? Well, I know what you mean. I don't come on until the second act, and it's just a little less than I was doing in Wicked. Mm-hmm. In Wicked, I only had about 17 minutes of stage time, and I haven't timed this one, nor did I time the Wicked either. I was told it was 17.5 minutes. So I think the next show I do, I may be just helping the people out after the performance in the theatre.
Selling lollies in the foyer.
Yes, exactly. Ice creams, lollies.
Will you find this one difficult to do because you're wheelchair bound? You're quite fond of a large stage presence and being out there, but you've got to sort of sit still.
Yeah, but I can speed in the wheelchair, and it's a bit of a natural fact. I mean, the gag is that everyone says whoever gets to play it, that everything was fine except the choreography, and there's none involved. And also, I must say, Bruce, no doubt you know, and perhaps Simon does too, it's lovely to be at the Regent because I've got so many happy memories with that theatre as a child when it was a movie theatre. But also, I've done a couple of shows there, Wizard of Oz, and of course Wicked. But also, when you go, to the foyer of the theatre, and there's that island ticket box. Back in the war years, there was a beautiful blonde who took the tickets, or sold the tickets, in that particular box office, and that was Graham Kennedy's mother.
Oh, yes.
And whenever I pass it now, even if I'm just walking down Collins Street and I see that ticket box, I think very lovingly of her, because she was a lovely lady, but also because of our association, yours and mine, with Graham.
Yes, and of course, that was where I think, on the steps Norman Banks had the People Make You Think, or Voice of the People.
Voice of the People.
That's right. Yes, yes.
But yes, he used to do that in the foyer of the Regent, didn't he?
That's right. Yes.
Except there was one, was it the Queen's visit, when he was actually at the town hall describing it, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Just a little, give us a moment of that. I know you've got it on the recording.
Well, you see, ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking to you from the Manchester Unity, across the road from the Melbourne Town Hall, and it's VJ Day, Victory over Japan. And I've got to say, Swanson Street is awash with khaki, and girls. They're dancing all night and into tomorrow morning. And my Lady Marys, thank you for coming across.
Yes, and I tell you what, be careful, girls, you may be dancing right into Norman's major studio.
Yes.
For the party tonight. I didn't know. I didn't know that VJ Day also fell on the Queen's birthday.
Yes, it did.
What a wonderful day it must have been for her.
Just getting back to Annie, it's such a wonderful era, that the 30s, the Depression. Out of that sadness comes such a joyous show.
Yes, well, that's the whole key to the show, of course. It's set in 1933, and the President of the United States, before, FDR, was, suggested the man who, unfortunately, didn't drive them into a depression, but didn't do too much about it, and then it was up to FDR to endeavour to do something about it. And the subplot to Annie is what he does, or what he manages to do at that time, so that America steps on firmer soil and heads on to success.
Oh, yes, just lost in the words. That
I think I know what you're doing. I think you've discussed the fact that Bert will give you quite a long answer, so we'll just turn the mic off and have a coffee.
No, you know me better than that. I would not be so unprofessional.
I know, but I'll never break the record of Alan Hale, who was in Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
I think you might have been at 3 in the morning I interviewed him, and literally the old gag came through. I asked him a question. He answered for 17 minutes, and I had no idea what the question was.
There's a question for you on that. Do you miss radio? Because it's been many years since you've done it.
Well, a number of people have asked me that in the last, week or so, doing promos for Annie. I love my radio time. I'm not like Bruce, and I'm not like Philip. I think the majority of the people who came through into television in the late 50s and into the 60s, I think most of them harboured a great desire for radio again, and also always named radio as their favourite medium. That wasn't my vote. My vote was for television. I think particularly for a reason. When I was a kid, I just wanted to be on one radio station. I love radio, and become an announcer on that station. That happened pretty early at 3XY. And then as television was approaching, you remember this particularly, Bruce, it was the start of the era of the DJ. You could do it, but I knew I'd never be a successful DJ. So in some ways, television was a lifesaver for me. Open the mics again now.
Well, it was for me too, because I was at 3XY, and Digger May comes in from Sydney, from 2SM. We're going to revamp 3XY. It's going to be disco, it's going to be wall-to-wall rock. And I thought, I've got to get out of this. And I did the same as you, Bert, and went to GDV, working on New Faces, and then full-time in the booth.
Yeah, what were you doing on New Faces?
I was doing the warm-up for New Faces.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Not the one I did.
No.
No. Because that was, the one you're talking about, 50 years ago.
Yes, that was Frank Wilson.
Ah, yeah, dear Frank. Yeah.
And then he did a national program called Australia's New Faces.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I went on as Terry Deer, and he was the guest judge up there.
Yeah, I don't think he was the original compere of New Faces. he was the longest-serving compere of New Faces until we came along. But I think the first compere might have been Hal Todd, and I think it was something that was done on his breakfast program on Channel 9.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it?
I think so. Well, if it's not true, at least it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I've watched a few episodes of your New Faces, Bert, and the one thing that always sticks in my mind is that I think it was Athol Guy's hat always overshadowed his eyes. It always distracted me.
What was that again?
Athol Guy,
yes,
as a judge, he always wore a hat and it always overshadowed his eyes.
Yes, that's right.
I reckon the director must have gone crazy at him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I still don't know what you said there. What happened with Athol Guy?
His Athol Guy's hat.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
That's right, of course he wore a hat, yeah.
Yes.
I think that might have been in Frank's day.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's unimportant. I'll ring up later on.
Bert, thank you so very much for speaking to us.
That's it, is it?
I wish you well. Oh, come on. I wish you well tomorrow on the stage. Grace is here, who's been to see Annie today. Did you love it, Grace?
Yes.
Sorry?
Yeah, it was really good.
This is little Grace who went to see Annie today, Bert.
Oh, hello, Gracie. How are you?
Good.
Did you enjoy the show?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. What was your favourite part?
Probably going in on the train and seeing it because it was quite funny.
Oh, that's good. Well, you've got to come back and see the show again soon if you can, because contrary to what Bruce said, I won't be on stage tomorrow. If I am, I'll be very lonely. But it's a day off tomorrow, and then I start on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So who took you, Gracie?
Pardon?
Who took you to Annie?
My mum and some of my school friends came.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, it's been beautiful talking to you.
Bert, I think what Bruce was alluding to with you being on stage tomorrow is knowing that you're the die-hard professional that you are, you would be there rehearsing regardless of whether anyone else turned up.
A very nice save on your behalf. Thank you so much, Simon.
Thank you. It took me a while to think of it. I just apologise for that.
Not a worry. We all have that problem.
Thank you, Grace, and thank you, Bert.
Thank you, and see you outside.
Oh, yes, see you outside. Where?
Outside a Hoyt Suburban Theatre. Oh, we don't show all.
Oh, we can't show all the pictures, so we only show the best. The others show the rest. You can put it to the test. So call your girlfriend right away. When she hears the news, she'll shout hooray. We'll be happier in the Hoyt Suburban Theatre. We'll be singing this song as we hurry along to Hoyt Suburban.